Yum. It's rich in bunly goodness.
Do you remember when you lost your passion for this work?
I invited another friend. I hope that's okay.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to my channel. I'm Reina Creole, bringing you that spice to sci-fi and pop culture analysis. And it is a Saturday, which is, relaxing, kind of chilling. And of course, on Saturdays is when we record our after-school specials, which is, guests that can't join us during, noon on Fridays. We just meet with them after school and record with them on Saturday evenings. So I guess it's evening, afternoon, whatever, one of the two. But I interview him along here with my co-host, Fat Steven He-Man. I shouldn't call He-Man fat, though, because He-Man's not fat.
No, but I'm only doing this because you like looking at this cartoon eye candy, and it gets me brownie points for anything I say stupid within the next hour. You know it's true. You like He-Man. Like, come on.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I flipping love He-Man.
I'm just
really
sorry
do.
I don't have anything below the chest. I'm so sorry. I can't even scratch my own nose.
That's okay.
So
Well, look at the face. You're gonna have to have Battle Cat with you next time.
Oh, I really wish I could do that, but I'm trying to get right now. I'm hoping it works out because Captain Murphy from Sea Lab will be my next avatar if they decide to do it for me. I'm gonna have so much fun with the clips because I love Sea Lab. That's where my background comes from.
I love that. Sea Lab was such a freaking hysterical Adult Swim cartoon.
It was.
I still love the Debbie episode. Which Debbie? You mean Black Debbie?
Why is she called Black Debbie?
Oh my God.
Why do we call the other one White Debbie?
That is like the funniest freaking one. When that one aired, we kept talking about that in the office like for weeks. We just thought it was the funniest show.
It was so good. And like Sea Lab, I think, was one of my first shows that turned me on it. And actually, there's a funny story. The first time I ever saw one of the episodes, it was after I got home from a rave party, and I was hanging out at a friend's house, like, the after party stuff you used to do.
Yeah.
And he started playing this, and I'm like, what is this? Because I was so fascinated and messed up at the same time. Mm-hmm. He's like, it's Sea Lab. And then I totally forgot about it. Years later, it clicked in my head. I got all of the episodes, and it's something I could play in the background, and it never gets boring because there's just so many. People today would not like it. It's so good. It's so good.
They wouldn't. But that's what physical media is good for.
Oh, it's great. I Captain Murphy. I think this is one of my favorite clips from these guys in general.
Murphy. Hi. Now, sir,
this is White
why
Debbie.
do you think I should choose you to father my baby?
Huh?
I remember that.
He's like, I thought you were going to adopt us.
Oh my God. I freaking remember that. Holy crap.
Yeah, I'll figure out a watch party, but how are you enjoying your Saturday? Like, I know you're not getting pounded with snow anymore.
No, it's a little better. It's sunny outside, which is nice because it had been cloudy and disgusting for a couple of days, but good. Under my electric blanket, got my coffee and got our guest in the back ready to go.
I was gonna say Oprah, but I think I've used that name too much. So, Mr. Clean.
Mr. Clean.
Magic eraser doesn't work on ex-girlfriends. I tried. You're still talking.
Let's just bring up our guest here. Our guest is Scott, aka Sporking News Podcast. How are you doing?
What is going on, guys? Mr. Clean. It wasn't the first time I've heard that. It wasn't the first time, but yes. How are you guys doing this fine day?
Doing good.
Alive. Alive. It's not snowing for once, so that's nice. That is nice.
Oh God,
it's still snowing here.
Well, you're in Canada, so that's like perpetual snow.
Right.
That's when you guys start talking about snow. I tuned the F out. It wasn't until I was hearing how bad Texas was, and I was like, oh my God, I should stop tuning out because one of our viewers actually, remember T-Shirt Historian, the one that actually, I think, trained under Steven Seagal's student? You remember that guy? Yeah. He actually is going to jump on a stream of one time when he's more situated, and he's going to actually give a one-on-one of what was going on in Texas, because he had neighbors losing power for 44 hours.
Mhm.
It was bad.
It's crazy.
Trucks are just coming in now.
Yeah, rolling brownouts. Like Comics Division had to cancel one of his live streams for it. Had to schedule them different times because they were doing the rolling brownouts. It was a hot mess down there. It was a hot mess.
Oh yeah, it's been a hot mess.
Yeah.
Other than that, welcome to the lunch table.
I love being at the cool kids table. So this is nice. This is nice.
It's a construct. There's no such thing as cool.
There really isn't there? Like, that's the one thing, if I could teach my kids anything, is the idea of cool is really just subjective. Like, whatever you like is cool. Just enjoy it.
Being yourself is cool. The more
it really is.
you are, the more people you will attract because of your personality. Lorraine is a good example. Scott,
Yep.
you have your own crew of people that enjoy your Game of Thrones books series, as well as your dump and stuff. And then there's me, who just wait for the next stupid thing to come out of my 2D mouth. So it works out either way.
You have great stuff that comes out of that mouth. That didn't sound right.
I'm going to be flipping that later.
We got where you're coming from, but still.
Yeah, know what I meant. Sorry.
I need Archer saying phrasing. I have to get that.
That's a good one.
I don't freaking have that clip, but you're right. It is a construct, because it's like, who's the arbiter of what, quote unquote, and
cool why is. And why do we give that person that power?
That's an interesting question. It's an interesting social question, because people like to belong to something. People feel like they should be, I guess, with a group of people, or aligned with a group that that is held in quote unquote high esteem. High esteem, again, is also really relative, but that just happens. So it's interesting where they say what's, because what was cool in, high school, or what I thought was cool in high school, then I got to college and that was something totally, and completely different. And it's like, it was more, I guess, more based on the individual, that I would say, because everybody was kind of like cool in their own way. All of a sudden, people who were nerds in high school, all of a sudden you had like the science clique, the engineering clique. And it was different. It was kind of like based on, the group of knowledge that you were in.
You were going to go to, right? Yeah. Like in high school, I was the type of kid that hung out with everybody. So I was, I feel so dorky saying this, but like, I was captain of my football and track and field team. So I was with the jocks, but I also loved doing, our, like, we didn't call it glee club, but our singing club at school. And I liked the arts and crafts kids. I liked the theater kids. I liked the burnout kid. Like, I was friends with everybody. I never felt like I belonged to one group. So maybe that's why I'm the way I am now. Like, I could be a little crazy with this group, but more serious with that group, because I just always kind of, I don't know, chameleoned into the group, and not in a fake way, but in a way where like I felt comfortable being that part of me. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
It's not weird. It's who you are. It's what develops us as we grow through, right? Me, I was a quiet kid all the way through all my schools, right? I got beat up, teased a lot. So when people hear that, it's kind of a different point of view. Even to me, I can't see it, but I then see a picture of me from high school wearing white denim jeans and a black Prodigy t-shirt. And I look at myself going, now I know why I got beat up.
That's messed up. But you have a valid point. Like, so when I was younger, older kids, because I'm loud, always disliked me. So I used to get into fights and stuff. So when I got into that position in high school, like, people that would be on my team would pick on somebody because and literally I went to all boys school. We had the one openly gay kid, so they would pick on him. And I'd always defend those kids and like actually go against my friends, because I understand the feeling of not belonging or feeling picked on. And when my body kind of went from pear shape to like, muscular at that age, like, I didn't change as a person. I just physically changed, but yet I was allowed to be a part of this group. And I think that's what made me who I was. Like, I never, like, why? Just because I can tackle really well, like, I'm all of a sudden cool enough to hang out with you. That's why I asked that question. Who decides what is cool? Like, because I just I don't want my kids to fall into that.
I'm gonna say something quickly because I think we're missing our first main question. We usually do, but when it comes to being cool, we're too young. We're still naive enough to not know how ourselves fit in the world, so we try to fit in with others to see whether or not those others are the type of people we want to be. But as we grow up, we leave those people behind because we start seeing that I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that by their choices, their words. For me, I would rather, to be honest, I would go home. I would either play on my video games. I would work on a 5,000 piece puzzle or play with my Lego till dinner time. And then I go right back up to my room and do the same thing. It was fine for me.
Enjoyable.
So who's the dork now?
Yeah. Ha!
What about you, Reina?
Yeah, it's just kind of like everyone kind of has just like an interesting, perspective. Like people thought that, okay, you're hanging out, with the cool kids, but some of those cool kids were not very nice. They weren't. And it's interesting how alliances would shift. You're hanging out with the wrong people. I'm like, I don't freaking care. I pretty much do what I want, but you're always going to have that group. And it's interesting. It won't be like necessarily cool, but you're always going to have that kind of clique activity going on no matter where you go. So I find it interesting that, and I've seen this, I'll bring this up. I've seen this happen in social media too, where people haven't evolved past that who's cool and who's not thing in high school and bring that onto social media. And it's just like, you know what, you need to deal with that and come into the, come into the real world and kind of leave that stuff, leave that stuff behind.
I agree. I'll go ahead, Fat Steven.
I was inhaling my vape.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I love them. Social media to me is the hallway of high school, where the real truth comes out and people's real, it's people's misconceptions of other people trying to look cool for one person, but belittling somebody else. Like it's all the fakeness that hallway life was when you walk down the hallway of your high school, like, yeah, that kid's really not like that. Usually like, okay, he's acting this way, but he was, yesterday he was telling me about how horrible his life is at home, but now he's picking on this guy. Like I hate social media. I love YouTube. It's gotten me to be able to find a voice in something that was really bothering me at a time. But I also want to evolve my channel into something more than just, bitching about what I don't like. I want to talk more about things I love. And I think we just have to be honest with who we are and stop worrying about what everybody else thinks and stop picking on people, because that's what social media is turning into. It's just it's picking on people, and I can't stand that.
You could say that it does have that construct, that concept, and it does have a lot of that sway when it comes to the attacking. But it's also a lesson within the attacking, because people have the freedom of choice to either attack or learn from those people doing that and not be that type of, I wouldn't say hostile, I would say negatively projective personality, because they have something wrong with themselves. And Twitter, especially, and other things, Facebook used to be more popular, is more of a projection of someone else's own insecurities at the cost of making someone else feel just as crappy as they do when they're off the screen.
Right. I wonder what Freud would think of social media. Like, would it be the id? Would it, because there's parts of people that they'll say the worst things that they would not say to somebody's face, but yet that freedom of behind a keyboard allows them to say whatever they want to say.
It's anonymity, because the same thing happened with going back same thing happened with, say, bulletin boards. Same thing. You have your forums, you have the way that people behaved on forums. The only difference is the barrier to entry got lower. Now, instead of having to have a computer to log on, now, all you need is your phone or, an app, and then boom, you're on. So it's like it's made it easier to get on, and that same kind of behavior has just replicated or mutated or whatever you should say into other areas. But that same duplicitous behavior is there for a lot of people, because
Right.
Twitter used to be just fun where people posted like crazy memes and just
Yeah.
talked about whatever the heck they
Where
wanted
they
to.
where they
What's
were
Twitter?
eating.
I don't know. I mean, we used to go on Twitter with friends at work because we would be able to say things on Twitter that we couldn't say,
Yeah.
at work. And kind of like YouTube used to be the place where, you know, you had cat videos and stupid stuff like that, and stuff that you forgot existed or whatever. And now it's, you know, now the behavior has kind of shifted that way. So it's
society changing, though, if you think about it. Like, this is the industrial revolution of our age. Not maybe the manufacturing part of it, but the changing of society part of it. Like, literally YouTube, the big tech guys, YouTube, Twitter, Amazon, all of them have Facebook, have changed society in ways that 30 years ago, if I said I could be talking to someone, looking at them in Australia and having an instantaneous conversation with them, you would have thought, oh man, that's 100 years away from now, you know, like just, it's amazing.
Yeah. It's information transfer instead of physical durable products.
Yes.
How to transfer. So it's a little bit different. But shifting to something a little less heavy, although that was really good conversation. So the baseline question we always ask everyone to start here is, what are your memories of lunchtime at school?
Oh God. All right. So I loved lunchtime. I'll go back to high school. My mom, okay, even farther back. In second grade, I told my mom I wanted a cheese sandwich with mustard, yellow mustard. That was it. My mom made me a cheese sandwich with mustard through high school. Like, I couldn't get her to stop. So my buddy, this kid, Mike, I'll leave out his last name, but this great kid from a part of there's a town in my state. I'm from Connecticut. I don't care to tell people that. And it's called East Haven, but they call it Staven because that's where all the Italians immigrated to. And a lot of the third, fourth generation of Italians are there. And I'll never forget, because I met this kid, Mike, and his mom used to make him a table cheese, supersada, oil with seasoning sandwich. And I thought it was the greatest thing I've ever had in my life. So, you know, he would allow, his mom started making me one because I'd always like buy it from him. So she started making me, you know what I mean? So like I met friends through food, which I think is a great way to meet friends. I think the lunch table was a place where you could talk about almost anything and joke around with anybody. And because I think I went through to an all boys school, it was a little different than most people's lunch tables because we would get raunchy and say things you would never say in front of a young woman, you know? But I just miss that, you know, midday, no holds barred, just wildness that we had in our lunchrooms. Like, what was yours like?
Mine depends on who I felt like sitting with that day. You know, so there were some days where I had to, some days where I sat with some of my geek friends, if we all had lunch at the same time, because lunch was kind of staggered. Sometimes you didn't have lunch with, I don't even want to ask where the heck this came from.
He likes toes, I guess.
Who likes feet? Who started talking? Because I would expect to see Apollo Patriot.
Who do you think it came from? I woke up with this. I woke up during Ords' stuff with this actually made, because Jay went on the stream and was like, "I don't like feet." Next thing I know, this is in Ords' Discord and on Twitter.
Now it makes sense. Now it totally makes sense. Game from Apollo Patriot. It makes complete sense. I'm like,
I think it was ABC.
I'm like, why would you do? No.
Another classic.
ABC, yeah, ABC. That still makes sense.
Yeah.
ABC probably said, "Hey, Apollo Patriot, you see this yet?"
Yeah, that's great.
Oh my gosh, it's freaking hysterical.
I didn't mean to ruin your story either.
Now I'm looking. I'm just like, what? You know what? If it wasn't feet, I probably wouldn't have paid attention to it.
I just saw the URL though. myfriendsfeet.com.
I wouldn't. If I didn't know Apollo Patriot, I'd probably just like, I don't know what the heck that thing is. It's like, so sometimes it depends on if my friends and I had lunch at the same times, because we had like different schedules in high school. So if I could have lunch with my friends, I would, or it was just me and my book, Or if unfortunately I had to eat with the mean girls that day because we just happened to all have lunch at the same, period of time. It's like you can't escape. I can't even explain. It's like you can't escape. It's just like, everybody's together in like one like hive and you can't freaking leave because you have to
It's a
hear all
jungle.
this information, that's out there. It really, it really is. It really is. But honestly, I liked it better when I could just have lunch by myself, unless it was somebody I really, really wanted to talk to. So, it kind of varied.
Yeah. Yeah. I always enjoyed the chaos of the lunch hour. Like I now sit back and think, man, like the teachers that monitored that must have to take like a Xanax or something, because how the hell could they have gone through that every day?
Oh my gosh. We just had lunch monitors. That's what they called them. That was like their whole job. They were usually, retired ladies that were there because the teachers had their own lounge to go and get away from us kids and have lunch. And how about you, Fat Steven?
To be honest, a lot of lunch times I snuck into the computer lab just playing Telnet and mud games all day.
I did that a couple times.
I would play them all the time. I would come home late from school till I would walk home. I didn't want to take the bus. Like it was when I say I got bullied a lot. I got bullied a lot. Like so, I would always miss the bus, sit on the computers, play the games, or go to the computer lab. Then I would just walk home. I didn't care if it was minus 20, 40 degrees outside. I would just do it because I didn't spend much time in the cafeteria. It was one of those places where anything can happen, and if you remove yourself from the situation, it won't happen. The group I did start hanging out with, it just turned into hacky sack and pot across the street from my school. So I'm serious.
No, I know.
Oh no, I totally believe you because I know some folks like that. That's why. That was one of the things that I did love about the particular school that I went to. Everyone had like their own little groups, like the ones who would go outside, smoke cigarettes, play hacky sack. You had the group that might eat for 15 minutes and then, go to the library, or you had, some that were kind of like eat by themselves. So it's like everyone had like kind of, different groups. But the main thing is that lunch was pretty much where you could actually do your own thing within certain limits. You didn't have to worry about, shh, be quiet, you're in class. Don't talk to your friends. Keep your eyes on your own paper. You could just
socialize if you wanted to.
Keyword if you wanted to.
I also lived close enough for sometimes, that I would actually just go home, play Super Nintendo, then go back to school when lunch was over.
Wow.
Oh, see, that's nice.
That's crazy.
That's nice. Our school was like pretty much like a prison.
You weren't allowed going home for school if you were close by. We were allowed. That was pretty much a lot of our schools.
We were not allowed because I heard some schools got that. I was like, no, we are not allowed to freaking leave the school unless we had like a note or a parent came to pick us up, because literally you had the schools. Like, you ever see a prison? It's like there's the main building and then there's all this land so they can see where you're going from if you try to make a run for it. Yeah, that's pretty much what my school was like. We were like, it's fun. It's kind of like a prison. No, we couldn't go home at lunch because some kids tried to do that. Because some kids who lived like right where the school was, like literally the school grounds, and their house was right there, they couldn't do it. Because I had a friend who I was in class with, she wasn't allowed to go home for lunch.
But at the same time, it adds a different thing though. Like, even because now also, since I live close to school, praying for a snow day doesn't mean you don't have to. You're not close enough to walk to school because just because the buses are out. So it was a double punishment. It was like, hey, I can go home for lunch and play Nintendo, but at the same time, I'm still close enough that if it's a snow day and the doors are open, they're still going to send me to school. So I lost 4-1 either way.
Oh man! Well, the other question, and this should be an interesting answer coming from you. School pizza, square or round?
Oh my god. I want to say it was. Oh no, high school it was round, and I was shocked. Because grammar school, which is K through 8, it was square. So it took me back. I was like, oh my God, this is like a real pizza. But yeah, it was round. It was round. Yeah.
Yeah, we always ask that question because it's like you get square pizza, you know, at school. We did not get the round pizza during school. In high school, we would only get it extracurricular activities where they order from like the pizza joint down the street. Then we get it, but not in regular school. No,
I would say it was round, but it was only about yay big. And
it's a personal pan pizza.
It was like, it was the one day of the week where like I literally threw me. It's so funny you just asked that because I totally forgot. Like I literally was like in shock the first time I saw it. I was like, I must buy that. I need one of those. And it still tasted like cardboard, you know? Garbage.
Weird.
Steven was talking about how I think in Canada you guys had the round pizza, but you guys got to like order it the day before.
Yeah, we got the full triangle slices from the round pizza. We had full slices. But it was pizza day and hamburger day. So
we didn't get the slices of pizza.
I think we had. I gotta remember now.
You have to remember though, like if I pissed off my parents, they didn't have to pay for the pizza, so I'd be screwed on that day. So everyone's having pizza, and I'm getting liverwurst. The neighborhood. My mom's side was German, right? So they like liverwurst. So eventually I got sick of liverwurst. No, the neighborhood dog loved it because I kept throwing it over the fence when I was on my way home.
I did not know what liverwurst was until I read it like in a some book in school, and it sounded so disgusting. And I asked my mom what it was, and she like showed me at the deli counter, and I'm like, that looks disgusting.
I love it.
Liver and onions I liked.
Yeah, I do too. I do too. Now let me ask you, is liverwurst and brunchschwager the same thing, or are they different? Does anybody know?
That I
have you ever even heard of brunchschwager? They look alike. Okay,
not.
that's a dumb question. Anyway.
I've not. I've only heard of liverwurst just because where I live, historically, there have been a lot of Germans here. Colonial times been here, so there's a lot of like delis and all that. So liverwurst, I'm used to saying,
yes,
but I've never heard of the other one before.
Oh my God,
it's a type of sausage or like sausage meat you can put on crackers, right? That's
right. It looks like liverwurst, but they call it brunchschwager. So I don't know if there's a little difference or something, but
no, it's liver sausage.
Is there any funky breakfast meats where you're from?
I live in Canada, bro. I'm not coming from like another planet.
No, not you. I'm asking you, Lorena. Do you guys have anything different? Like almost like a bologna style, but it's not bologna. Is there
like in Philly?
No, it's more. I would say this is actually more North Jersey. Now that I think about it, looks like bologna, but it's not.
Oh, I don't know. That's no man's land. I don't talk.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna have to remember the name. It's delicious. It's delicious, and they make eggs and cheese with this stuff. And I always forget the name of it, but it looks like bologna, but it's not bologna. And I forgot. I thought you were from I forgot you were Philly, not Northern Jersey.
Nah, North Jersey. We're just like, what the heck? We don't talk. We don't talk about Jersey. Period.
Nice. Nice.
No, I have never had anything like that. I just know that when I was in Germany and I had like to go to breakfast at the hotel, all the breakfast meat, I'm like, holy crap, this is like eating at it's basically like eating here.
Really?
Pretty much. All the sausage looked the same. None of the sausages looked different at all. I think it just, they had like I knew it by the American name. I didn't know by the German name, but it was the same freaking thing just because of the culinary heritage here.
Okay, so there is no like, because I always wonder that sometimes, like, is the knockwurst there different than the knockwurst here? Is like, the German sausage is different than what we would get here, or even Italian. Sometimes I think about that. And you're saying in Germany, it's pretty much the same.
In Germany, it seemed the same when I had it. In the US, sometimes it maybe changed a little bit for American taste, but it wasn't like, oh my God, I don't freaking know what this is.
Right.
It was just like, oh my gosh, this tastes kind of like the same thing.
Right.
That I have here at home. Italian, because I haven't been to Italy. But pretty much a lot of that is the same.
Right. So just so you know, it's called pork roll. and that's a Northern Jersey delicacy. If you ever
Okay,
see a
I've heard of it.
pork roll sandwich, try it. Okay,
I've heard of it.
So.
I
thought so.
know if I want to try that. I don't really
It's
like
delicious.
pork. I don't want to.
Oh, I understand.
Except if it's bacon, except if it's pork loin. But it's like sometimes it's a little too much. Well, and Italian sausage, I say that too.
Yeah, this is more. It reminds you almost of a bologna. I really don't know if there's a difference, but it's delicious fried up. It's so good. I love food.
I've had fried bologna before.
Yeah, it's so good, so good. Oh man, I love food.
Yeah, I do too. Sometimes
I hate food.
You hate it when people put food in front of you.
That's about it, yeah. Especially when I'm sleeping. Especially when I'm sleeping.
I'm like, food is not your enemy. No, it's like I like food. I like food too. Sometimes a little bit like too much.
Yeah.
But it's interesting with the culinary heritages around certain food. Like I tell people, I'm snobs about certain food. Like before I found out that I had a fifth great grandfather from Southern Italy, actually came to Louisiana. Very picky about Italian food. Would not eat Northern Italian food. Do not like it.
I'm with you.
I will look at it like I don't know what the frick that is. I don't want it.
Yeah.
I don't want it. I don't want to look at it. Southern Italian food, I cannot get freaking enough of it.
So good.
I cannot get enough of it.
My God.
It's so good, especially if it's got like red pepper with it. And it's interesting because a lot of that cuisine actually got rolled into that's why New Orleans has the best freaking food, because we have the best chefs from all over the world that come there.
Huge Italian population, right?
Although that one came there, like it came there in the 1900s. So it's like from my ancestors that came there, they got there in like 1700s.
Oh wow.
So they're the basis of what's known as a Creole cuisine, which they borrowed from everybody.
That's
because
so
at that time, that part of Italy was not Italy. That was actually ruled by Spain at the time. But the same like culinary traditions is all wrapped up in there, like together. So when different people come, especially like when the Italians and Germans come in, they just take it and they just have like their traditional recipes, but they roll it in with local ingredients and stuff. It's just amazing.
I gotta get there.
That's the best place to go. Just go to New Orleans. All you do is walk and eat.
I gotta get there. You know, I love that. That was Chicago for me too. I loved so much good food there. But my my grandfather, so my grandmother was on my mom's side was from Sicily. My grandfather was from outside of Naples, and they had a tradition in this village that I still have not found any Italians that know it. So in this little village on Palm Sunday, because you can't have a meat sauce, what they would do is they would hard boil eggs. They would peel the egg, cut it in half, take the yolk, put the yolk in a bowl, mix it with like Parmesan, salt, pepper, some other seasonings, pack it back into the yolk, and then fry it face down. And when you fry it face down, it literally in olive oil, it literally will seal that yolk back into that half of an egg. Then you take those halves and you cook it in your sauce like it's a meatball. Delicious. It's the most different thing I've ever had. Not many people have ever had it that way. I've met a couple people that have a certain style where they crack the egg into a sauce, but it is something we have every Palm Sunday, a tradition. We fight over the eggs. I do it now. I make the eggs. I make like 6 dozen, and I usually don't have any leftovers. Like people brawl for these things. I'll have to maybe do a video on how I do it one of these days, because it's a long process. But it's yummy.
I think you should. That's really cool.
What I'm reading now, I'm gonna have to do a video later. Did you guys watch the interview yet with Carano?
No,
I have not. I thought that was
just
going to be out Sunday.
Yeah, but Quartering supposedly has been giving out a little bit tidbits. Do you mind if I quote one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Please.
Let me be clear. Disney told Gina Carano she had to get on a Zoom call with 40 members of the trans community so they could yell at her. This was their punishment for Gina pushing back on the pronoun bullies on Twitter. 12 minutes ago.
Can I tell you how not surprised I am by this? I'm not. I'm not.
Disgusted, but not
Oh,
surprised.
absolutely disgusted, but not surprised.
Yep.
I'm actually surprised because the fact that a company would go to such extent to have 40 people yell at you at a Zoom call, that's not part of an NDA. That's not part of a contract.
That's
no,
abusive.
It's not. However, I don't put anything past a corporation. I could tell you stories akin to that. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. They can pretty much do. Huh? Wasn't trying to what?
Wasn't trying to enrage you guys either.
No.
Oh no, it's a good topic.
No. It's a very good topic, because I think what a lot of people don't realize about corporate entities is all the BS that goes on in a lot of these corporations. And if you don't fall in line, they can retaliate against you. Of course, they're not supposed to, but that's just what it says on paper. So it's disgusting to hear that, but I'm not surprised, because the way that they have, it's like I told people, they have a CEO of diversity and inclusion. And with that, a CEO, as a matter of fact, while you guys talk, I'm going to bring it up, because I always bring up this. I call it the dartboard.
There's more. He's covering more. There's about 5 or 6 posts.
Keep going.
Oh yeah, please.
An email accidentally sent to Gina Carano from a Disney employee confirms Disney was following the fire Gina Carano trend that led to her termination.
So they're saying that added to it. So they were like, "Oh, it's time to fire her because Twitter's saying so." Oh Lord.
The thing that cracks me up is they follow everything. They follow everything.
Disney literally forced Carano into a struggle session, like reprogramming over the pronouns thing. This is insane. They forced her apology, forced her to meet with all these activists. Meanwhile, Lucasfilm employees were slandering her in plain sight.
Wow.
What was that last part? You went down low a little bit. That's okay.
It's actually making my eyes water reading this stuff, because this is crazy. That they forced her apology, forced her to meet with all these activists. Meanwhile, Lucasfilm employees were slandering her in plain sight. So I think the interview for members came out today. The official for everyone else is tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't.
And the comments on Deadline are just disgusting.
Oh wait, that's Deadline. That's enemy territory. It's what it tells.
This is hilarious because Shapiro is Jewish, right?
Yes.
Orthodox.
One of the replies on Deadline's article is he's also a white supremacist.
Well, that's what they're going to say.
That's so stupid.
That's what I tell people. They say that to get you to be quiet. They say that to get you to shut up, because they want you to be shamed. Like, well, I'm not a white supremacist. What are you talking about? I'm not a white supremacist. Get you off the point. The point is, you have any proof of that? No, you don't. Receipts or STHU. They do that.
I'm gonna have to find this. I'm gonna have to find this video, but like, this will just when this comes public tomorrow, I'm gonna give my opinion. This is gonna show how much dedication people will have to Disney after this, and all they're left is the crazy normals that don't care about their products.
Well, I've been meaning to ask Lorena for like a month now. How do you feel about Disney? I know you, I mean, when I first met you, no matter what was going on, you still loved Disney. You know what I mean? Like, has this cracked at your love of Disney, or is it like, how do you feel?
Here's the thing about Disney, and I probably give the for the impression sometimes that I'm lockstep with everything Disney does. That is not the case. Right. If you've ever followed the likes of Clownfish TV, I'm kind of like that. There's the Disney of 20 years ago and the legacy Disney products that I fell in love with, that I still like. There are some Disney products that I like. However, the Disney company itself, because I tell people there's two different, Disney is not this executive board that you see here. Okay. Disney consists of people who are cast members who are just working hourly to make people happy at the parks. So when people say F Disney or whatever, be careful with that.
Right.
don't lump Disney execs, or let's say don't lump the cast members in with Disney executives. So
Right.
I'm very well aware of the kind of shenanigans that Disney has been up to for years. The same kind of shenanigans other companies have been up to for years, but they're not exactly in the bullseye of the fandom right now. Disney bought Star Wars. Okay.
Yep.
They bought that. They started screwing that up. Okay.
Mhm.
They were already screwing over legacy Disney fans for years before that even happened.
Mhm.
So you have the people out there who will huff pixie dust. I tell them this. I'm like, I don't hit that stuff regularly. You get some of them will hit the pixie dust. Oh, the Disney parks are great.
Yep.
They're great. They're the best they've ever been. And if you have the nerve to say, no, they're not. They're crap.
Yeah.
Things aren't working like they used to be. It's not the value that it used to be. You know, they're charging us, you know, for parking. They're making it to the point where it used to be that middle class people could afford a trip to Disney. You may have to save up for a little bit, but it wasn't breaking the bank. And they had all of these just like extras that, you know, that you could do. And it wasn't draining you when you went. If anything, you felt bad. You didn't have more money than you did to spend. But there always seemed to be somewhere that you could just get magic from, even if it was just walking around, you know, walking around the park or just like talking to people or whatever. Now it's just like, turn you upside down, empty out your pockets, take out everything. We don't care if the rides are working. We don't care if the prices for food are high or whatever. And if you have people like me who call it out, they say, well, you're being negative and
you just hit it.
You're being nothing. It's like, no, we're being realistic about all of this that's going on with Disney. And we call this stuff out. Disney doesn't like us either. But if it's one thing that I've learned from leftist activism, I didn't mean to go political, but I will. One thing that I learned from them, you buy stock in a company you don't like, okay? You get a seat at the table.
Yep.
You get a vote at the table. You get to go to the stock, you know, the stockholders meeting. You get to make your case at the stockholders meeting. If you happen to, you know, put something up there on the schedule, they can't ignore you that way. They'll politely, you know, nod their head and listen to you. Well, not listen to you, but kind of just let it sit out there in the ether and then do a song and dance and all that.
Right.
But that's the power to that. But as far as I'm concerned, you know, I've heard people say, well, Disney can burn to the ground. I'm just like, you have no idea how much I wanted to burn the $30 a share so I could snap more of that stuff up.
I'd be with you actually.
Right now, it's so overvalued, and it's not. And I know it's a long-winded answer to your question.
No,
Scott,
I enjoy that.
But talent-wise, because do you remember John Lasseter?
Yes. Okay,
so I'm pretty sure Fat Steven, you remember John Lasseter, right?
Name sounds familiar. Yes, it is.
Okay, so he
Was that the Imagineers?
He used to be the head of Pixar.
Yep.
Okay. Oh,
I say used to be because he got Me Too. Okay. Apparently he was hugging people a little too much. Well, John Lasseter was the creative brains behind Pixar.
Yes.
And when they forced him out, exodus of talent. As a matter of fact, they started I think Skydance Animation. They're sucking people out of Disney left and right. They've had high-level Imagineers retire and leave.
Yep.
They've had executives leave. I think one of their CEOs had left to go to TikTok. So Disney can't afford to make stupid missteps, but you've got people like, let's see here, let's go on down because people think
let's check this out.
People think I'm making this up.
But while you look at that, I want to say something that you said that hit me, you know, like the idea that the middle class can't save up and take their kids to Disney World is a sad moment in American history, because that's a rite of passage, just like going to a ball game or a football game. Like it's gotten to these rites of passages are getting so expensive that, you know, people that don't have, that are a little bit below, you know, middle class can't give their kids that magic that maybe they got when they were kids. And that breaks my heart. It really does. It breaks my heart to think about that. I wish these corporations realized that, you know, maybe if it was worth the money, the value, like you said, was worth it, I would understand, but a lot hasn't changed. And what you're doing is you're supposed to be selling that dream to kids, and you're not.
I just paid for the interview, so I now have it.
Oh,
It's an hour long.
Oh, wow.
But I get what you're saying. Disney is not the magical kingdom. We've discussed this on Florida shows numerous times. They have when people try to argue like it doesn't hurt your childhood, it does. It does. I'm going to beg to differ because it's the memories attached to the childhood, and Pixar especially was doing great things. And if Disney didn't acquire them, they would have probably kept doing great things and been the next magical kingdom. They take out their competition and they take out the leaders of that competition so they can put another Hydra head, so to say, in that head position. And right now, it's like that with KK. It's like that with Feige because he's technically a Hydra in his own way. And it just keeps going down. And all these faces have the same smile. Like that Chris McCarthy woman right there, the one that just got the $11 million bonus.
This is Cruella DeVille right here.
Yeah, she got an $11 million bonus. Meanwhile, they fired half of their staff in the parks. That bothers the crap out of me.
32,000 people. You know how they got fired, laid off? By email. People who had been entertaining at the park. I mean, these are people who had been entertaining the park since I was a kid. Okay, like those fixtures at like say hotels like the Grand Floridian. There's like there all the hotels. Everything. Some of these people who'd been there for Disney 20, 30, 40 years.
Can't even get a phone call.
No, fired by email. By email. And they take that out, they take out all that knowledge and they take out all that heart and soul. So basically this chick here can get her bonus, everyone else can get their bonus. And and they don't care. And it's just it's a very visible part, especially to someone who visits the parks. We don't really care about people like VPs or whatever. But when you find out cast members that made your trip amazing are no longer there.
Yeah.
Because of budget cuts. It's like it doesn't make you want to go back there.
No. I rather, we're talking about a Florida trip when my kids are a little bit older. And I'm saying Universal. Like Disney's just, I'm not feeling it. I want Harry Potter. I don't want Disney anymore. I want Harry Potter, and that experience. That's sad.
When I tell you, it's just, and there's Imagineers who got laid off from Disney or whatever, went to go work at Universal. Universal is completely different. And I know Fat Steven, we talked about this on various shows. Even when I was there, you feel like you are actually there. The amount of detail that's in there. And even the park experience itself, when you go, you don't feel like they're dumping you out and trying to rip off all your money. I mean, it's still a theme park. They're still trying to take your money.
Of course. Of course.
But it's not like, oh my God, they're just like ripping you off left and freaking right. It's just
they're not taking away your Galaxy's Edge sporks and then repackaging them and selling them for $13 because someone decided to sell a couple on eBay as a souvenir. So that's how petty they are.
I so wanted to get one of those too, the spork, but I won't do it. I won't do it.
I hear you, but it's just like and to kind of go back to the Gina story. You have here this person, okay, Senior Vice President, Chief Diversity Officer. Okay. This is, people thought that I was making this up. I'm like,
that's a job.
That's a job. That's an actual job. Okay. Chief Diversity Officer. The fact that they have this kind of freaking position that's there. Yeah, it's ridiculous. And it says a lot. And that's where it comes down with all the diversity initiatives and,
and I wonder how much she's making. I'm wondering how much she's making.
They're making in the millions.
Yeah.
In the millions combined with stock options and all of that stuff. So that's like the CFO. Let's see. This guy is part of Disney Plus. So he runs Disney Plus. This guy I actually have respect for. Josh D'Amaro.
I've heard the name.
He was running Disneyland for the longest time, and the cast members love him. Absolutely love him. So he's over at Disney World now. And this guy, I felt for him when they had to cut all those people. It obviously hurt him. And he's been taking lots of pot shots at people. Like you're not doing your work. You're not doing your job. That's why we have to lay all these people off.
Oh,
So, this guy who the cast members freaking can't stand, they call him Cheaphead.
yeah.
This is the guy who's just like chopping, things off and show quality and all of that. And I'm trying to find out where the heck is the guy for Lucasfilm.
It's sad too. They're going to be getting their bonus. There's not going to be a cut in their bonus, so instead of saving jobs and taking a cut in your bonus, you let these people go that have been there for decades and just so you can get 45 million and not 43. Like, it makes me sick.
It does. And it's like, it happens, it happens all the time. Let's see, that's Disney Studios, it's Alan Horn, but no, I will say this is under Disney Plus. Lucasfilm is feeding under Disney Plus. Lucasfilm, I don't know if it's under Alan Bergman or if it's under Alan Horn. It's one studio. No, that's Chief Creative. So Chairman, it might be here. I think it's Alan Bergman. I think that's where Lucasfilm goes up under him.
Can I ask you guys a question? Have you guys been watching WandaVision?
I break it down every week in a round table.
I love it.
I don't anymore. Well, I do and I don't. The last episode that just passed, I give it respect. But the way they ended it, you've seen it, right? Right? I don't want to spoil, do I?
Yeah, I've seen it.
It felt very cheap. Like they kind of could have done something better, and they decided to settle on one thing. But remember I told you about the leaks and how I saw that toy page, right?
Mm-hmm.
Something doesn't add up with that toy page because I know how that company runs when they make certain models, because they only make the models if they're in the show.
Okay.
So we have 2 episodes left?
Yep. And they said there's still one big person, right? That's going to show.
That's what they say.
That's what they say. I'm enjoying it. I like it. I think the way they ended it was almost like we all thought. Everybody knew it was Agnes Harkness from the beginning, but yet instead of trying to subvert our
spoilers for those in the chat.
Well, this is 2 weeks from now, right? Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I mean, this is like 2 weeks. This is probably going to air before the last episode. So yeah,
sorry about that.
Cool.
All right.
I'm just being a douche. It's all good.
That was so funny.
I was like, wait a minute. Oh yeah, that's right. This is.
Oh my God, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
But instead of subverting our expectation, they actually just gave it to us ham-fisted. They were just like, "Here you go." And she even like looks at the camera like, "I'm Agnes, Harkness," like letting you know, like, yes, you guys were all right. This is cheesy. Here's the Munsters theme, pretty much. Yeah. Like I thought it was hilarious, actually.
Oh no, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you.
No, please.
I was gonna say, for me, watching it, I kind of feel like this really should have been 6 episodes, and instead 9. It keeps ending kind of like in the wrong spots. And I just happened to fortunately find one of my Vision and the Scarlet Witch comic books like about 2 weeks ago, and I'm watching the show. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it feels like each episode isn't quite ending where it needs to end. So
I'll give you that.
So that's kind of frustrating to me.
Yeah, no, I'll give you that.
I feel like they're stretching it out because of production issues that happened with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So I think that's what happened there. But with Agnes, I had to keep my eye on her because I'm like, we haven't seen Ralph. Why does she just so happen to show up? And then every time I saw her, she had this like brooch on.
Right.
And in addition to that, when they were getting the IDs of everyone, and I think I'd said this on Midnight's Edge, I said they don't have one for Agnes.
Right. And something else I noticed, I believe at the very beginning, it was like a translucent dome, like you couldn't really see the hex, and then as you go in a little bit more and they start sword goes around it, the hex is a little bit more scarlet, but it's also a little bit more blue, forming a purple color. And I'm wondering if in a way, because her magic is like purple or a violet color, if yes, Wanda had something to do with the creation of it, but it really was the mix of both their magic that did it. And then when Wanda expanded it, it became just scarlet. So like she took over, and that's why things were changing so much in this last episode, because it wasn't Wanda's magic that was going crazy. It was that Agatha or Harkness couldn't control Wanda's magic anymore. I found it really interesting. I'm holding out to say how much I like it to the last episode to see how it all ends, because I agree with you. I feel like these episodes should have been, instead of like a 30-minute, 37-minute, maybe they should have made them a little longer and condensed the amount they had. I'm with you on that.
Yeah, it's just kind of, because it feels like it ends at the wrong, kind of like at the wrong place. Go ahead, Steven, because I'm waiting to hear from you.
Yeah, because the thing is with me, you've seen my breakdowns, you've seen my screenshots, you see how fast I can put things together with this show. That's what Loki and everyone else loved, right? Because the way I've broken it down has gotten people to actually give it a chance and watch it. And the amount of work I put in doesn't make sense. The amount of Easter eggs, layers, and other tropes they put into the show. And Agatha was not much a villain as she was the teacher for Scarlet Witch in most of the comic books. So I don't think if Agatha's there, then she is either under control in her own methodology, and we're going to still see that character come in who's actually the mastermind. Because Agatha doesn't play mastermind. That music isn't mastermind music.
Right.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
because I don't buy her as the big bad, so to speak.
Right.
No.
Oh,
and if she had that
doubt
much power, no offense, she could have taken Vision out in a heartbeat. So
Yep.
the way I'm thinking it, because especially the twins, Wiccan and Speed, they were first created by slivers of the soul, Mephisto.
Correct. Yep.
And when those were taken back, that's when Darker Than Scarlet started happening, and she started losing her crap. Also with the death of Vision. So if they are actually alive, then if let's say that the leader of Sword right now, an evil white dude, as everyone's putting it as right now, let's say he's after Vision for one purpose, right?
Right.
But what if inside the bubble we have some other force that wants Vision for his vessel in this realm?
Oh.
And that's what I like, because again, evil white guy, frankly, I think it should have made him somewhere else. But I feel like because it's just like, that's kind of like the standard trope. You have like the over the top quasi military G-man guy who wants possession of the ultimate weapon. But what if it's that someone else has plans for that ultimate weapon?
I'll give you another thing. You remember the commercial they had for Nexus, right?
Yes.
Nexus has two meanings. If they're using Nexus for the first one, it means they were referring to the Fortnite event that just passed in the last season, which was called the Nexus War.
Right, but I doubt that.
But the second one is it's the Nexus of all realities, which is guarded. Yeah, but which is guarded by Man-Thing. So if Man-Thing or someone playing Man-Thing is going to be in this, that has the ability to open up a whole bunch of other stuff. But it means that someone is trying to get in from somewhere else, because it's a crossroads, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Nexus is the crossroads.
Right. Like a gate.
But Fortnite is actually canon in the Marvel universe. So
is it? Oh, you're right.
It is. Right. Same with the Mandalorian is now canon within the Marvel universe because it's in Fortnite. So anything that's in Fortnite is canon in the Marvel universe. That means Rey Palpatine.
Oh God.
Kylo, So people don't seem to realize this, because the comic book is there. It's actually canon. So they can do anything. So when I thought that right away, there was also the one thing where you see the woman picking up in the commercial the bottles from the doctor, right? The physician.
Yep.
There was a white bottle above her head that had X10 on it, which either means it's referring to the first 10 X-Men, and the number one X-Men was Professor X.
Right.
And people are saying it could be Wolverine because
Wolverine,
of
right.
Weapon X, but no, Wolverine.
Nope.
No, that would no.
It wouldn't make sense for
But Professor X would, because Professor X trained was the person who actually helped Wanda recover after Doctor Strange showed her a memory so horrible it put her into a comatose state, where Magneto showed up and took her to either Muir or Genosha Island. So if we're either going to get Magneto or Doctor Strange, and it's going to end on a cliffhanger.
That's the two that I'm looking for. At least Doctor Strange, and for me, it's purely just personal fun, because I have the Vision and the Scarlet Witch comic book, And I think I had posted a picture where there's Vision and Doctor Strange together, because Doctor Strange comes to check on the Scarlet Witch while she's pregnant with twins. She thinks, she's just like, oh my God, I'm gonna get huge or whatever. And Doctor Strange is pretty much, you need to behave or else I'm gonna have to, come back here. So I would love to see Doctor Strange. I'd love to see Magneto, because Magneto is one of my favorites. But they've got the big bad that they have to drop on this has to be freaking huge.
But
I would hope
the big
so.
bad is a demonic force. This is a big if,
Mm-hmm.
and it would be handled by Doctor Strange's community wand, due to the fact that they deal with the mystical and the other realms of that type of magic and force.
Okay.
Sword wouldn't be able to do anything on this.
Right. The one thing I have to say about the Sword project, it's called cataract. Now, cataracts make you see like blurry double vision. So I'm wondering if they were actually dissecting Vision to create a new Vision that Sword controls. Because how are they going to get into, like, they're like, we're ready to launch the big bad white guy. We're ready to launch Hayward. Like, how are you going to get through that hex if a super powered, Monica Rambeau had to force herself through that hex? It must be that you have a double vision. Maybe. No. I don't know.
That's interesting, because I was trying to figure out, like, cataract, that's kind of like a weird freaking name for a project. But then again, it's like, okay, he wanted to reacquire Vision. He wasn't tracking Wanda. We're thinking, trying to track Wanda. No, he's trying to track Vision. And apparently he was trying to bring him back online, but then, Wanda went and stole his body. So it's kind of like, why is he trying to reacquire him to use Ultron him as a weapon? So use him as the weapon Ultron planned Vision to be. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Exactly, because people kind of forget. It's like Vision was supposed to be the corporal, or I call it the upgrade version, of Ultron.
Absolutely. So, I miss talking about this stuff with you. This is awesome. It's one
cataract
of those that I didn't know in a long time.
Sorry. Cataract also means a sudden rush of water, a downpour. It also means a deafening cataract.
That's true, because the Nile River has several cataracts in it, now that I think about it.
Absolutely. I didn't think of it that way either.
It's also broken down from Greek, which could mean strike or smash.
Right. Well, that's powerful. That's a powerful tool right there, right?
It'll be interesting to find out, because I want to know who the big bad is. I mean, Agnes, she's kind of like, I look at her kind of like the jealous neighbor, kind of like, I want what you have. Because one of like the commercial, and here's the reason why I missed the commercial from the previous episode, because that commercial looked so much like a real commercial from back in the day for Go-Gurt. I had to go back and watch it, and I'm like, oh, it's like the Go-Gurt commercial, and he keeps trying to open it, and can't open it,
But think about it, Yo Magic. I want Yo Magic. And the wand figure, the little kid, is focused so much on opening it that she's not realizing that her life force is being sucked from her. So it's interesting.
Makes me wonder what's happening with that with respect to the twins, because that's what it makes me think of.
They're gonna be in the next phases. They're setting up the Young Avengers already with the Hawkeye series, recasting the girl in the Ant-Man. Like, so they're getting that Young Avengers, and these are two massive characters in Young Avengers. So I can't wait to see do you think they'll age by the end of this, or that they'll still be little kids at the end of this?
They'll be teenagers, because that's what they were in Young Avengers. Young Avengers were teenagers, young adults.
Okay, yeah, because I didn't read Young Avengers. Like, I didn't read. I have like 2 West Coast Avengers issues, because I got freaking bored.
Sorry,
the one with Vision and the Scarlet Witch. The only reason that I have that is because I picked that one up with the issue of Spider-Man where he got engaged to Mary Jane. That's the only reason. And he had the black Spider-Man costume on,
which was dope.
So that's the only reason why I bought that one. but I hadn't I was totally out of the loop with
Yeah,
that.
it's gonna be interesting. I at least I can say that people don't love WandaVision, people love it, people are down the middle, but at least it's something that's different and that has us all talking. Like, what can it be? I just need that in my sci-fi and fantasy. I just need that in my comic books. I don't need the message they're trying to give us, about society. I just want the show,
I'm going to give you a thing, because you guys are right probably on the first terminology with cataract. It does mean a lens to blur, right? So if vision is called vision, if they are able to control vision by blurring vision's, let's say, mentality or his will, they want vision as a weapon or a defense or something. So cataract probably means it's a control mechanism or a device to make him a blind weapon, a blurred weapon, because he can phase through things. He is the ultimate weapon.
Oof. That's going to be crazy.
It has a similarity also with opacity or opaqueness. So
that's just I honestly have to say I've actually liked talking more about WandaVision than I have about The Mandalorian, to be honest.
I'm with you on that.
I even with the trailer, because that was the cool thing about the WandaVision trailer. It's like the Mandalorian trailer. I was kind of like, this is what they're gonna do this season. Yeah,
you guys
okay,
are
I'm kind of
forgetting
bored.
two things, though. That's the funny thing. Everyone's forgotten the two things. The commercial twins have yet to reveal themselves. They were also not. The commercial twins have yet to have been revealed, and nor do they have actual identities. If you remember Sword's board, they're not on the board.
Commercial.
What do you mean by commercial?
The two people in the commercials. The
right.
Commercial.
Oh, you mean the commercial actors? Okay.
Yes, those two people are pretty much the only people that haven't revealed themselves, nor do they have identities. And if they are, let's say, the ones that are powering or having their power sapped to create not only the twins, but this magical bubble, and the only role they got is the commercials, who's going to be pissed more than Agatha?
Ooh.
So Agatha might be there as a third party, like people are just speculating. Agatha might be a third party trying to get Wanda's power, or at least trying to see where it's coming from to see if she can take it.
Right.
But at the same time, the power that's being taken from, let's say, demonic forces or not, how pissed off would you be if you were trapped in a commercial in someone else's reality, but you were considered a demonic force?
Very pissed off. Trapped in that hex.
Plus, there's kids that were trapped in that commercial. Actually, about two of them.
Yeah,
2 or 3 of them too. So that's interesting.
Sorry,
I hadn't thought about. You said commercial twins. I'm like, what commercial?
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
I thought you said. I'm like, oh, okay, actor. All right, yeah.
So I'm guessing it's either Fenris or it's going to be something else, because the Fenris twins were actually the offspring of Strucker from Ultron, right?
Yes. My question is this, you have a valid point. I thought they could be a version of Wanda's parents. I was also thinking, I didn't even think really, because someone brought up the version of Wanda's parents, but it didn't even strike me because it is the same two people in all the commercials. Who are they? We have nothing about them. Nothing.
The same two adults. Same two adults in this commercial.
You remember what they say? Hiding in plain sight is the best way of hiding one.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. But here's the other thing. What's up with Pietro?
Yeah.
The fact that they brought back the
Ralph.
X-Men version. Thank you. I told somebody that.
It's probably Ralph, because the same thing with Dennis the mailman. Why is he all of a sudden showing up? It's Ralph. Because he knows Wanda way too well.
Right.
He's like, like with Sparky. Don't worry. Your mom won't let him get far. And of course, I knew Agnes killed the damn dog.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, okay, even if the azalea bush was dangerous to dogs, I didn't know that. You mean they wouldn't show the dog getting sick and then they have to take the dog to the vet and, mom make the dog better and the dog winds up dying at the vet. Okay, I could buy that. But you just happen to show up and Agnes is there with the dog wrapped in something
already in a blanket. Yeah.
Already in the blanket. I was like, come on now. But I didn't say anything on Twitter because I knew something was up with that. And I didn't want it to possibly be a spoiler, but I was freaking right. I was texting my sister. I'm like, I never should kill that dog.
I think she did it because she wanted the kids to upgrade. She wanted them to go. Two reasons. She wanted them to become teenagers so they were more powerful. And she also wanted to test Wanda's power.
Yeah.
And Wanda wouldn't do it.
Yeah, because she's just they're like, you can raise the dead.
I'm gonna disagree with this because due to the fact if they are created from Mephisto's soul, since it goes from the comics, Agatha's a witch. She might serve different forces, but she does not have the power of demonic forces. And it doesn't matter. And if she was a servant, not even the master would give her enough power.
Right.
So those
enough
kids,
power to what? To age the kids up?
Yeah, because the way
that's not what I meant.
The kid, okay. But the kids,
I meant the kids themselves aging themselves up because they don't want to take the pain of losing an animal. Like, I think that's what she wanted to trigger, the kids actually wanting to age themselves up.
Because they were about to do it. And she's just like, no, don't you dare, do that. But it sounds specific. It sounds like you're right. Probably by the end of this, they're going to be teenagers.
Yeah,
because remember, Agatha said, "Kids, you can't control them no matter what you do."
They can't, but they're not affected by Wanda's abilities to begin with.
No, they're not. So what I'm saying is, they probably will do it on their own. I don't buy that they're not going to do it again because they've done it once. They're out of guilt to their mom because they want to please their mom. They didn't age up then, but what's to say something traumatic isn't going to happen?
Right.
And they're going to wind up aging themselves up because they feel too vulnerable at that particular age. And they feel like they're more powerful if they age themselves up.
Yep. I agree with you on that. If they age up, it's because they want more power. I agree.
It's not more power. They don't understand the ability of evolution. If they're taken from the slivers of a demonic soul,
right,
going down that pretense, they live outside the normal realities and physics, especially since they were conceived within a TV reality. Their whole physical conception doesn't make sense within the reality outside the bubble and within.
Right.
So at the same time, we also don't know if the bubble is actually turning the townspeople into mutants. And if they go that way and make it a cheap way of making X-Men or more mutants, Wanda's bubble is the key. Because why would it affect only Monica Rambeau and no one else in the town?
Well, I think here's when I talk about power, I think we've kind of missed the point a little bit for what I'm talking about. No, that's a good point. But what I'm thinking is about from a psychological standpoint.
That's what I was thinking.
That's what I'm thinking. It's like when you're, with your ghost, what you said makes perfect sense. But it's like where I'm coming from, psychologically, where they're coming from. It's like, I'm a kid. Here's this adult. They're bigger than me. What's the only way that I could possibly mitigate what's going on and protect myself is to become at least big as them or as powerful as them. So I'm thinking physically, that way. Because when you were talking about them being in the Young Avengers, it's like, yeah, pretty much they're going to age up. But that to me would be a, how would I put this? And I don't want to say normies because it goes to just the core of good storytelling.
Ripper calls them normies. They're normies.
Now here's the thing, here's the reason why I don't want to say normies, because I don't want to discount good storytelling by just saying normies.
Right.
When you boil it down to like the basics of storytelling, what's going to be the motivation? You've got two twins, okay? And we'll say that they're locked up, like say with the proverbial Hansel and Gretel thing going on. The witch is going to throw you in the oven and freaking cook you.
Right.
How can you protect yourself from that? Kids who feel vulnerable, they want to feel powerful. What's the most thing that they can do to feel powerful? And they're just like, age ourselves up so we're close to or as old as they are. It sounds weird, but with the basis of good story with something like that happen, and just like it's something that a lot of people can kind of relate to.
But coming from the kids' point of view, I hope I'm getting this right this time. How many movies and stories have you read or seen where the kid sees their loved ones in danger to the point where they realize they can overcome? Let's go from Gohan's example from Dragon Ball Z and the Cell games.
I don't know because I don't watch Dragon Ball.
let's just say Cell was a being that was able to absorb other beings and was created from all the Z fighters like Goku's crew, and he was the only one able to destroy Cell. And that was until he realized the power within himself. So if these kids are not just unaffected by stuff, we don't even know if Agatha has them captive or whether or not they're just being held against their will. And if they are able to, what's the word? What's the word we become aware? When their awareness outreaches their physical understanding of themselves, let's go with this, like the Force style, they could be more without having to age.
Right. I get that.
That could be possible too.
There's a lot to
theorizing here. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that can.
I agree with everyone's point here. I'm just saying. I just hope that the last 2 episodes they pull a rabbit out of their preferable butt, and end on a high note, because we're not getting madness at the multiverse of madness for what, 22,
right?
Yeah, that's about right.
So they need something that can save them, right? And
absolutely,
I don't think the other one will.
They have to. They're gonna have to.
Either way, it's gonna be interesting. But I agree with yours too, right? Because the fact that Agatha could incapacitate Wanda means Wanda was never fully in control of that reality to begin with.
Exactly.
So it means there is still a puppet master, and I don't think it's Agatha.
Yep.
Agatha could actually be just being, because the way Mephisto works is he whispers in the ears of our heroes. He causes doubt and conflict from within, right? Mentally, he's like one of those mind gamers.
Yep.
So if Agatha has been swayed and not even realizing it, she's working on behalf of a force that she has no idea is trying to do our realm. It's like Dormammu trying to get into the realm through Stephen Strange.
Yeah.
Same kind of pretense, right? Because there's a place above, there's also a place below. That's the reference to heaven and hell.
Yeah, she seemed like pretty much, I want to say, I'll say the enforcer. That's kind of like what Agatha seemed like to me.
She's the queefalizer, pretty much.
Yeah. Oh my God, that show looks so horrible.
It is horrible. It's horrible.
I heard about it and I just said, no, I'm out.
No,
nope, not gonna watch it.
No.
But this has been a weird lunch table in general.
Yeah. That's me for you. So that was fun.
But it's so cool though. But think about it. By the time this airs,
that's why I was just thinking this.
It'll be before the last episode of WandaVision.
Yep.
And you could follow more of my insights as well as what my predictions were on my channel, because I've been doing this. Yep. And I will say this right now: I did call the rabbit. The rabbit is the metaphor for her cat, and I said this back weeks ago.
Yeah,
I totally forgot about that.
Yep.
I was like, what did he say about the rabbit?
Because she was doing
what he said about it.
Yep.
Yeah. Yes, Senor
on.
Scratchy, and she had her with her like the whole freaking time.
Yep.
I'm trying to find my.
And
it was the name of her son too. Her son was
really
referenced. Yeah, had the what was her son's name in the comic books? It's something.
Peter Wiccan.
No. Agatha's. Scratchy is something too with her son's name. Yeah.
See, with me, I didn't. It's like I said, I only had one issue.
Oh yeah. That was me looking up stuff.
I'm like, I have one issue, and that was, and that was about it. But it's like, I was like, I've seen this before. Why have I seen,
You still have one other question though. Where's that other beekeeper?
There were 2.
Well, the same beekeeper that went into the reality that Wanda said no. Where did that go?
Yeah, she rewound.
That's
but where
interesting.
Did he go? I didn't think about that.
That's a good question.
Because that's another person we haven't seen. Even though it's a medium character, he still hasn't had an end story.
And who's the guy in the witness protection plan?
Yeah, who's that dude?
I'm guessing it's a Skrull. People are also saying that Hayward could be a Skrull as well, because they're also implying that the secret invasion is also here too, right? So
yeah, I would think Rambeau would know that though. I don't think he is. I think we want to think that, but he isn't. she's already got her powers. Yep.
Yeah. So it'll it'll be interesting to see how they wrap this up. They have got to be extremely powerful when they wrap this up, because I'm expecting a huge big bad, and I'm expecting a big bad that looks like they're gonna freaking take over everything.
And a big name.
Now, you see what I'm talking about?
Now I remember this when you showed. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Auntie, yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Because Bova was also the super smart cow that was there on Wanda's birth, right? So that's why Bova's there. She's also in the back where the living room changed, but the Bova picture changed as well. But there's the cat, Auntie Agatha's. There's
such good reviews.
And her cat, yeah.
So I go when I go in.
Oh, I watched your first and second one. I gotta watch. I have to catch up, because what do you have? Are you up to date now?
I guess I pretty much just do what I can. It's pretty much hearsay.
Because I can't watch those, because here's the thing. It's just like me, I want to find this stuff out like on my own.
I respect
it's
that.
like, and then go back, because if they aren't successful at making this a good mystery for me, it's just, whatever. So it's like I want to go in blind with this, because it's like I want to try to put the the pieces together, by myself. But yeah, Steven's like, I'm like, I can't go down there because there's too much good stuff, and if I go down that rabbit hole, I'm never gonna come out.
Absolutely.
I'm never gonna come out. And then when he told me, he's just like, don't look at the Funko page, I'm like, okay, good. So I don't want to be spoiled. No. I mean, I've never been. Usually I'd say I don't care about spoilers, but this show, I'm just like, I'm not even putting out certain things, because it could.
I like theories.
Want to be a spoiler.
I don't want to be spoiled. I like theories.
I like hearing stuff. Like, I hear stuff like people say. I like hearing, theories that Steven has, because it's like when I look at it, I'm like, okay, let me see. He said this. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see if that happens.
all of them, but I like guessing. I like looking for stuff.
Oh, that's part of the fun, trying to guess and figure stuff out. But I didn't know about Agatha as a witch. For me, watching the episode, I knew something wasn't quite right with her.
Right.
See, so when her cat is actually a being that can talk, right? It is a
turns into a panther, doesn't it?
It's something like large battle cat style. We talked about this like weeks ago, right now. But it's a smart entity. So if they were given the rabbit, that rabbit has been doing intel and recon for Agatha in the house.
Cool.
Because you only see her hold it once, and the next thing you know, they have a rabbit, right? So
genius.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
So yeah, it's gonna. Close. It's. Ebony's the cat's name. Oh, Ebony's cat's name. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how this wraps up. It needs to go out with a bang. It has to make me actually want to. Granted, I'll see it anyway because I like Doctor Strange, but to make you really want to go and see the Doctor Strange movie.
I'm with you. They need it. They need a big A. They need a hit a home run with this one. And I think up to now they've been doing a decent job with keeping me wanting to watch it. Like I'm looking forward to next week's. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I am. I'm looking forward to it a lot more than I'm looking forward to Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but that's another.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
I think I totally went and trashed that damn trailer.
And after this, I'm going to be doing the interview. I'm going to do it right away. Stream it live.
Okay, yeah, we're going to replicas actually. Okay. Hang on, let's see. So I want to show people. So this is Sporking's YouTube page. Dude, I got unsubscribed from you.
Everyone did.
Holy crap! Everybody, if you think
literally,
you're
it happens all the time.
Please do go back and subscribe. It's been crazy, but yeah, prime example, folks. I'm not making it up. I'm not just saying it. Yeah. So, Scott, what do you have that's coming up?
Actually,
don't know about.
Well, once I get my new computer, I'll be getting back into doing videos. But right now, it's Monday nights at 7:30 Eastern. we do my A Song of Ice and Fire book club, where we go over George R. R. Martin's Game of Thrones books. Wednesdays at 7:30 Eastern, we do a midweek Humpty Dump, where we just BS about what we're doing, like here, talking about different shows and the news of the day. And then we also do that Saturday nights at 9:30 p.m. But hopefully I'll be able to get back into breaking down videos and stuff like that. But right now I just can't put up with it with the computer. So, but thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
No problem. This has been pretty cool. Little different, but different in a good way. And
all right, good.
Very, very, very freaking timely. So appreciate that. So folks, all of the links to Scott's social sites will be in the description box of the video. So you can follow him on Twitter, subscribe him on YouTube. Are you on Minds or Instagram?
I am on both.
Okay.
Not really that active on either one, but you can find me on Minds and Instagram, Sporking News Podcast. I just started a radio account with a radio app. Or I'm sorry, stereo app, which you guys would be perfect stereo. The two of you would be perfect.
Thank you for calling me ugly. That was
That's not what I made. But yeah.
Does that go with the face for radio joke?
But yeah, but mostly Twitter and YouTube I am focused on.
Okay, cool. Yep. All right. Well, Scott, thank you so much for dropping in. This has been so cool. Having you here on the after school special edition of the lunch table. So like I said before, folks, please subscribe to Scott's Sporking News Podcast over on YouTube. Follow him over on Twitter. And folks, thank you so much for watching and take care. Bye.
Have a great day, guys. Thanks for coming by. And just for the record, Scott did call me fat